Finding purpose in life is a goal we all try to achieve. Lighthouse Central Florida and Lighthouse Works in Orlando is making it easier for those who are blind or visually impaired to find that purpose. The nonprofit was established in 1976 to empower people of any age who are blind and provide them an opportunity to lead independent lives beyond the restrictions of vision loss.
I had never spoken to a person who's blind and never really thought about blindness, really. And I was in the private sector, and I just happened to be miserable. And I didn't feel like I had a purpose. And so when I met Lighthouse, first I was voluntold by the CEO that I was going to help start a young executives committee. And then one thing led to another. They needed somebody to run fundraising and communications. And they let me try it despite not knowing anything about blindness, fundraising, or nonprofits. And everything in my world changed.
Lighthouse CEO Kyle Johnson says 7 out of 10 blind people in America are not part of the workforce. Lighthouse allows its employees to see a clearer vision of their future by making everything in their facilities accessible to those who can't see. Sophia McCall experienced blindness later in life, and after an initial adjustment period to her new world, she knew there had to be something out there for her.
When I went blind, I thought life was over for me. I really did, because I had no experience. I didn't know what blind people could do. I just thought, okay, well, I'll just fade into the background. But turns out it's just not my personality. So I had to figure something else out.
Sophia lost her vision in 2015, and soon after, her children encouraged her to tackle this new challenge head on. That's when she discovered Lighthouse and received a fresh outlook on life.
And when I went there for the training, it was like someone turned on a bright light. It was seeing everyone there just working. Like I said, I didn't even know they were blind. And I was like, these people are living. And so I'm not going to stop.
Sophia is really the representation of Lighthouse for us. She was a person who went blind later in life, a single mother of 4. How can she take care of her family? She received services at Lighthouse Central Florida. And like most people that go through those services, she regained her confidence.
4 years later, Sophia had to overcome yet another obstacle. She developed an infection in her leg and had to have it amputated.
And at that time, I told my mom, I was like, I'm cursed. I had just went blind, and now I'm going to be a blind amputee. I decided that I wasn't going to let it hold me down. I had my amputation September 8th of 2020, and I was back at work in November.
Since that time, she quickly rose through the ranks at Lighthouse, from part-time front desk receptionist to team lead in the call center, to her current role as human resource recruiter. She now even has support of her own, her new companion, Quincy.
When I first had my intake here at Lighthouse, the person that did my intake had a dog, and at first I was scared of the dog. And so, but after walking around with my cane, I was like, this would be much easier for me if I had a dog. That's just my preference. And because he, especially when we go to the mall or anything, we just glide through people.
What Lighthouse is doing reaches way beyond Central Florida. 25% of all new jobs for the blind in America are created by Lighthouse, a number that makes the boss quite proud.
We don't have blind jobs, we have jobs, right? And we are one culture. We have 5 core values. They're who we are, not who we aspire to be. And so to see our team live up to those core values on a daily basis, just, I feel like I'm so fortunate. I feel like I'm cheating. It's so awesome.